Chances are, if you're watching this video, you want to somehow improve your financial position in life. Here's a hot tip. Read The Psychology of Money. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. This is Pradeep and you're watching Vlog of Note. In this video, we're going to be talking about 3 deep takes. Pradeep takes from The Psychology of Money. Let's get started. So first of all, usual disclaimer here, I don't need to do a disclaimer for this particular video because we have no stock recommendations. I'm just a person who has made a reasonable amount of money by investing in the stock market. At the outset, why is it called the psychology of money? That's because you have the coldly rational approach to money and you have the emotional approach to money. I think money is an emotional thing, and the better we understand it, the better we will be able to make it. I've divided this video up into 3 parts. The first part talks about the fact that no one is crazy. The second part talks about the fact that you should plan for your plan not going according to plan. And the third part talks about the fact that we should be reasonable about our money and not coldly rational. Before we jump into the video, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. It really helps me out. I do a lot of work for you guys. You're welcome. Let's jump into the video. You have so many different types of investors today. You have day traders, you have meme stock traders, you also have people like me who buy and hold stocks for a long time. Anyway, if you are a day trader, here's a question for you. What percentage of day traders do you think actually makes money? Is it 5%, 10%, 50%? The statistic here is that 95% of day traders actually lose money. You're probably in the 5% that makes money, right? Also, you have meme traders. Now, the best example I can think of recently is Jake Freeman, a 20-year-old college student in applied mathematics who turned $25 million into $125 million in little under a month. How did he do it? Well, he invested into Bed Bath & Beyond. He knew it was going to be a meme stock. When it went up, he sold his entire stake. Not bad for a month's worth of work. On the other end of the spectrum, you have someone like Ronald Reed, a lifelong janitor who at the age of 92 died leaving behind a fortune of $8 million. How did he do it? Well, he slowly invested and saved into blue chip stocks like Johnson & Johnson for his entire life and let the magic of compounding do its work. So many different types of participants. You have traders, investors, and meme stock traders. But the fact is, no one is crazy. The second takeaway that we can take away from Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money is the fact that you should plan for your plan not going according to plan. As a student, something that was drilled into me was the fact that failing to plan and planning to fail are virtually the same thing. However, I don't think many of us plan for our plans not going according to plan. Now, there's a very famous concept from Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing, the author of The Intelligent Investor, and the mentor to Warren Buffett, when he says we need to have something called the margin of safety. Basically, if you think a stock is currently trading at $120 and the intrinsic value is $150, then that difference of $30 is your margin of safety. Even if your calculations go wrong, you still are within the margin of safety and you will not lose money. Apparently, the 4 most dangerous words in investing are, "It's different this time." But Morgan Housel would have you believe that the 12 most dangerous words in investing are, the 4 most dangerous words in investing are, "It's different this time." I hope you get it. But basically it means that we cannot predict the future and no matter what we try, something will probably go wrong. For example, 3 years back, no one would have predicted that we would have a pandemic which would wipe out lives and economies. Also, there is a quitting coach, yes, that's a thing, called Annie Duke, who used to be a professional poker player and is now a consultant at a venture capital firm, who basically says that when she works with PMs or project managers or decision makers, she makes them write down what their kill switch scenario would be. Basically, what is the scenario during which you will exercise your kill switch? Now, if you ask most decision makers, they would say that is obvious and it's understood. For example, before you buy a stock, you would need to write down what are the various business circumstances that would need to change for you to consider exercising your kill switch option. And then when it actually happens, maybe you'll be better placed to actually exercise your kill switch. Basically, you should always write a plan which will account for something in your plan going wrong. The third thing that I think that we can take away from Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money, is the fact that we should be reasonable more than coldly rational about your money. Now, here's the thing. I have a particular set of circumstances, and that's why I make my investment decisions. I have kids, I have a family, I live in India, I run a business, and therefore maybe I could make more money if I was just coldly rational, but I choose to be where I am. That's why I'm fond of saying I've made a reasonable amount of money rather than the maximum possible money that I could have actually made in that given period of time. Warren Buffett is a great example of this. He's fond of keeping billions of dollars in cash so that he and his financial partner can sleep well at night. At one point of time, he even had $140 billion in cash, and he's fond of saying that at least $30 billion would be kept by Berkshire Hathaway, his company, in cash at all times. There's this really popular study going around saying that young people in their 20s, because they have so little capital to invest, should actually invest in the leveraged margin position of 2:1. Basically, for every dollar of actual money, they should take $2 in debt. However, consider this. If, for example, one point of time your entire stock portfolio goes down by 50%, you will be wiped out. According to the study, the next day you should just pick yourself back up again and start investing. But I think that very few people have the emotional fortitude to actually do this through. People are fond of saying that you should not be emotional about your investments. However, if you don't have an emotional attachment to a particular company's stock, for example, I have an emotional attachment to the stock of Apple, what would you do if that particular stock decreases by 40% in value? It would be emotionally very difficult for you to face that particular circumstance. There you have it, 3 takeaways that you can take away from Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money. I would highly recommend anyone who wants to learn anything about finance read this book. If this video was helpful to you, please go over to YouTube, subscribe to the Blog of Note channel, ring that notification bell so that you never miss a video, and I will see you guys right back here next week. Happy investing!